All right, we are live Sunny Days Media Football Show week 15. Is it week 15? I think we are in week 15.
Week
No, we're in week 14.
14.
Week 14, yep.
I'm ahead of myself. Week 14, Thursday night's already in the books. Looking ahead to a Sunday. A lot of playoff implications tomorrow, a lot of good games. We actually have a decent little 1 o'clock window. Before we get into tomorrow's games, we'll do a little quick recap on Thursday night and move on because I did do a Sunny Days in Detroit show.
Okay.
So Lions and Cowboys played each other. Cowboys were coming in, winning 3 straight. Lions have been going win-loss for the whole month of November, I want to say, leading from October as well with that Chiefs loss. I think that was in October.
Yep.
Basically, this was an elimination game for both teams, more or less. The Lions have very little margin here, and the Cowboys have almost none. The Cowboys can very well still win their division. I think if you're a Cowboy fan, that's kind of where you're looking at right now because the wild card is just so tight. The NFC wild card is the craziest I think I've ever seen the NFC wild card in a long time. I mean, you've got 2 9-win teams, 1 8-win team. The Lions are on the outside looking in at 8-5. So a back and forth game. Facino, I don't know how much of Thursday you were able to watch, but
I thought it was more of a must-win for the Lions than the Cowboys.
Agreed.
Because the Cowboys are... You don't even stop thinking about wins at this point. You got to think about the losses.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have 6 or would have 5 losses. They would have had 6. So if the Lions had 6, they can't afford to lose another game because you're getting in at 11-6. The Cowboys,
I don't think they would get in at 11-6.
I do. I think not only that because I know just teams lose. There's not like every team just going to keep playing well. Some teams are just going to start losing. We don't know who those teams are, but there's always a team that goes 2-3 or 1-4 down the stretch. There's no way they can all go 3-2 or 4-1, and one of those teams is going to end up 10-7. The 7th seed is going to be 10-7 unless the Cowboys win out, because then they'll be 10-6-1. So that bye or that tie helps them for the future. The Lions with 6 losses, they can't go to 7.
No, I think you need 11 wins to get into this NFC playoff picture. I mean, you have the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers in the West, and you figure at least 2 of those teams are making it. Well, definitely 2 of those teams are making it. And then you have the Packers and the Bears you have to fight with, who are the Packers are 7-4-1, and then the Bears are 9 and.
The problem with what 4. You guys are all saying is just in the NFC West, you've got the Rams, Seahawks, and Niners who are already all at 9-3. I mean,
yes,
and they're not really all the Rams and Seahawks will play each other one more time.
Okay,
I don't think the Rams won't see the Niners again. So and I don't believe
Seahawks play each other twice.
The Niners, no, they won't. Yeah, they will. Week 18.
So you don't see one of those teams going 1-4.
I don't see either one of them going 1-4. I don't see. I think maybe if anyone goes 2-3, I think it's the Niners. Maybe.
I don't think they can make it.
I would.
Let me look at their schedule, but the Niners have. I don't think they have a tough schedule.
They have a very good schedule. They have a bye this week, and then it's Titans, Colts, Bears, Seahawks. They've got to go 2-2 here down the stretch.
What are they? 8-5.
8-5. Oh no! If they go 2-2, that gives them wins. So to get to 12, they need to. Well, I think they'll beat the Titans, and I think that I'm starting to think the Colts might be frauds. So I think they'll beat the Colts.
And Chicago's at home, and they should beat Chicago.
No, San Francisco's home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Chicago, they're playing Chicago at home, so they should win that game. I mean, you're looking at the toughest game on that remaining schedule. My personal opinion is the Seahawks, but it's in San Francisco. It's at Candlestick. So this is I mean, you could see the Niners go 4-0 and win the division.
What's the Packers' record? Schedule.
Packers are 8-3-1.
Okay, so
the Packers can get away with 10 wins and they could get into the playoffs
because they have the tie.
Because they have the tie.
Unless the Cowboys went out, then that wouldn't be enough for the Packers.
Yeah, but to expect the Cowboys to win out, I mean, the Panthers. I actually think the Panthers are irrelevant because I think it's going to be Panthers or Buccaneers to win that division because they play each other They play each other twice down the stretch here, so that will figure itself out.
The Packers have a brutal schedule to end the season. I mean, you have Chicago twice. Chicago's a good team. You have Denver in Denver. That's a tough game.
They're playing the Ravens, who are going to be fighting.
They have Lamar Jackson. You know, I mean, Lamar Jackson, he becomes healthy all of a sudden, and that's a tough game. And then Minnesota, while they're not great, it's in Minnesota. This is not an easy end of the schedule. You could see the Packers going 2-3. You could see them going 1-4. You know, they could go 1-4.
I don't think they go 1-4. I think the Packers win tomorrow against the Bears. I think they'll win tomorrow. I think they'll lose to the Broncos.
I think they'll lose in Chicago.
I don't know that they will. I don't know that they'll lose to the Ravens. Like, it's really tight. I think if you're an NFC team, I think 12 wins is a guaranteed you're in.
You need 12. You guaranteed, with 12.
Guaranteed in. I think 11 wins is really. I think there will be at least one 11-win team in the NFC that doesn't make the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, because there's too many 9-win teams here, and like if the Eagles go on a run, although they are done playing the Eagles and Cowboys are done playing each other, but there's just too much. There's too much winning. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
So what do the Lions have to go 3-2 now down the stretch?
No,
Lions need to win out.
They have to win. They have to go, I guess, 3-1. What do they have? They have four games left. They have to go at worst 3-1. They could afford to maybe lose the Rams game, but like I said, I think if they get to 11, I think they'll be the odd man out. I don't know exactly what the tiebreaker is, but I know the Lions have lost conference games.
Head-to-head doesn't factor into the tiebreaker. It does?
Oh, it does.
Because I know this is separate from this point. I won't dig too deep in it. But the Giants, if the Saints lose tomorrow, the Giants are still in 3, which and they've lost head-to-head to the Saints. So I don't know. It's not the most important tiebreaker. I know that much.
I don't think draft order has the same tiebreakers.
Oh, okay. I just figured everything was universal, but
no, I don't think so. Because there is a point in draft order where they literally flip a coin. If you've gone to like 3 or 4 tiebreakers and it's still at a dead tie, you flip a coin. But you've got the Lions, Panthers, and Cowboys all on the outside looking in. I think anyone below that their season's done. Just as a side note here, I think the Panthers are going to beat the Bucs at least once. I think the Panthers are going to go to the playoffs as the NFC South winner.
The Panthers are the better team with how injured the Buccaneers have been. I mean, you have Baker dealing with an injury. You have Mike Evans, who's been out. Chris Godwin has been injured. Emeka Egbuka is dealing with injuries. That team is very, very injured. I think, perfectly healthy, the Buccaneers wash the Panthers, but it's not the case. The Bucs are very injured, so you probably see the Panthers come out of the South, and they're a scrappy little team. They got a good defense, good offensive line. They can run the damn ball. Just a matter of what Bryce Young can do.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, if you think about it, it's like if you're a West Coast team here, I mean, I guess the West Coast does have an advantage flying east to west, rather west to east.
Yeah.
Because you're still kind of on your own clock.
Yeah.
I think you really don't want to be an East Coast team traveling west. I don't think you want to be the Eagles, going to LA or to kind of whatever Seattle,
San Francisco. Seattle.
You don't really want to get into that world. That's tough. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the playoffs, and you just have to do what's presented in front of you.
Well, those are all games that are in the afternoon or at night, so I don't think it really affects you. I think it's more of an effect during the middle of the season. I think, if anything, the East Coast teams have the advantage just given the weather. You know what I mean? You have LA and San Francisco and Seattle who don't really have to deal with the elements like you can on the East Coast. Like in
Seattle definitely does. Seattle
not as much, though. Seattle can, but you don't necessarily see snow games there. You definitely see them in Philly. You see them, you know what I mean? So I think that's a place you don't want to travel to in the playoffs. Is Philadelphia or Lambeau for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess Chicago as well. But
at this point,
we'll see.
Chicago.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into tomorrow. You've got Steelers Ravens. You've got honestly Dolphins Jets is I think going to be a better game than we think, and Colts Jags.
Or it could be awful.
Colts Jags stands out to me quite a bit. The Colts have not won in Jacksonville for a very long time. They are favored here by 1.5, so it's basically a pick'em game here. If you're taking anything, you like the Jags here, you go for the money line, I guess, plus 110. Facino, are your Colts, are your Jags, are they jagging off tomorrow?
I really hope. I really freaking hope, man. They never are any good, but sometimes they're decent. So this is one of those times where, like, they're really not, like, that good, but they don't lose. So that's part of that's the whole point, not to lose. I feel like they don't win, like, by decision a lot, but, how could you not be excited? Like, the Jets and the Giants haven't been to the playoffs in like forever, so if you could just get to the playoffs, that's fun. I don't think we're going to do anything though. So this is a huge game. It's probably the biggest game in 7 years.
I mean, there's I think this was a division that we thought was over by like week 6. And now I feel like this might be the most wide open division. I mean, I guess you could see the AFC North because nobody has any idea who's going to win the AFC North.
Yeah.
At this point, right? But like
Bengals could win it.
The Bengals could. I don't see
it's
it.
Impossible.
It's
with
not
Burrow back,
the Ravens have to win 2 more games and they're out. The Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, but it's one next week's against Cincinnati, and this week's in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
This is it. This is a wide open.
This game is in Baltimore.
Oh, it's in Baltimore.
No, it's in Baltimore.
I am looking at it right now. It is in Baltimore.
So they've
1
played.
o'clock.
They haven't played before. They have to play twice then.
Oh, so that Steelers and Ravens play twice then.
That's what it looks like.
Fuck. I mean, it's going to be.
18.
So there's a path for all of those teams, all 3 of those teams to win the AFC North. This is going to be a fun AFC playoff picture. I mean, it's going to be probably the first year that the Chiefs don't make it to the Super Bowl since the Bengals, and then the only other time that's happened was before Patrick Mahomes took over.
This is how pathetic.
If I'm not mistaken.
This is how pathetic the AFC North is. Just so everyone understands.
I think the Browns are.
The Cleveland Browns are 3-9. They're not mathematically.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Like I mean, I thought the Bengals being 4-8, not mathematically eliminated, was crazy. The Browns are 3-9, and they're still alive in that division.
Yeah.
Go back to the Jags though. Go back to the Jags because right now the Jags are 8-4. The Colts are 8-4.
The Colts own the
Colts were leading this division this entire time. The Jags have snuck in here. The Texans are on the outside looking in. Like we might be looking at 3 AFC South teams in the playoffs this year. I don't know if that could work out. Come to think of it,
if the Chiefs win out, then they're gonna make it. But if they lose 1 game, then they're pretty much out.
If the Chiefs lose here, like the problem with the Chiefs is they've lost to every team more or less, other than the Colts, that they're competing with for a playoff spot, and like they play the Texans tomorrow. That's 8:20. That's Sunday Night Football. If they lose that game, 6-7 looks pretty bad, but that's another team you're competing with mathematically to get into the playoffs. So that's another team that holds a tiebreaker over you. We all got to be rooting for the Texans here, right?
Oh, 100%. I don't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I'm rooting against the Texans.
Well, of course you are.
I want them to lose every game. That's how.
I just don't want the Chiefs to be in the playoff picture because we could actually see. I mean, at this point, the Patriots are probably going to win the AFC East. You're going to see the Bills in the wild card, and not a single division leader is going to want to play them. That's for sure. No one's going to want to play Buffalo.
The Texans are basically, if they beat the Chiefs next week, they eliminate the Chiefs.
Yeah.
No.
Not mathematically, but yeah, pretty much. The Chiefs season's over.
It would actually be better for the Texans to win. Yeah, for the Jaguars, it would be better for the Texans to win.
So
no, because the Jags already have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs.
Because if the Chiefs get eliminated, then that's one less team. Because the Jaguars have the tiebreaker. You don't want the Chiefs to be. You want to make sure the Chiefs are done.
Yeah,
7 teams make
exactly. The Jags have the tiebreaker. So even
but here's the thing, Matt. You don't even want to think about that. All you want to do is win against the Colts, and then you're basically in. You don't want to think about if you lose.
I think if you're a fan of the team, if you're a fan of anybody right now, like whoever you're speaking from a Jags point of view. The Jags' future is in their own hands. Like they control their own destiny. They don't have to worry about what anybody else in this league does. Okay, if you win out, or in all likelihood, if you go 4-1 down the stretch, you're going in, right? That would mean that you're a 12-win team. You're going in the AFC, right?
Yeah.
And you're probably winning your division. I think 12 wins is going to win the AFC South.
100%. No question.
I think if you're there's not a lot of teams. I think the Texans are kind of in that world of like
whoever gets the 12 wins. They will play each other so many times that if somebody gets the 12 wins, that means they probably just beat the shit out of everyone else in the division. Mm-hmm. Like if the Jags get the 12 wins, that means they had to play the Colts 2 more times and beat them both times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So 12 wins is tough for the Colts and the Jags. The Texans aren't going to be able to get 12 wins.
No, they can't.
They're at 11.
They're at 75.
Yeah, but you think they beat the Chiefs on Sunday?
I think they beat the Chiefs. Yeah.
I agree.
I think tomorrow's the end of the Chiefs, and I wouldn't say tomorrow's the end of the dynasty. Like everybody that wants to say, I think people just want to say shit like that. That's crazy, in my opinion. As long as Mahomes is there,
I can't see it.
It's very much alive. But no, I think the Texans break them next week. I think that's the final nail in the coffin.
So what do you think the odds are? The Texans breaking Pat Mahomes? Or Pat Mahomes throwing for 304 touchdowns.
Texans breaking Pat Mahomes. That defense is legit. That defense has been the best defense in football, bar none, this whole season. And
it's still Pat Mahomes, though.
It doesn't matter. Pat Mahomes hasn't been Pat Mahomes for 3 years. This is the best he's looked since the last MVP. So
it's tough to bet against him.
It's tough to bet against him.
He's never missed the playoffs. He's never not been to a championship game. He's never lost in the divisional. So to say he's just not going to make the playoffs because C.J. Stroud's going to play better against the Chiefs. Think of it like this: who do you think's going to have a better game? C.J. Stroud against the Chiefs defense or Pat Mahomes against the Texans defense?
Texans defense is very
good. I think there's a world where C.J. Stroud plays better.
The Chiefs.
I don't think this is a game of
Chiefs defense isn't the Chiefs defense.
C.J. Stroud hasn't looked good all year.
This has been middle of the pack. He would look very good last week, but this has been a middle of the pack Chiefs defense this whole season. The Texans defense is the best defense in the NFL, bar none. I don't even think there's a question in my mind or anyone else's mind that it is. That's how good it's been.
I can't see it. But who knows? I mean,
the Denver defense has been awesome.
Is that a 1 o'clock?
It's been great. No, that's a
Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football.
The Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs and Texans, yeah.
They flexed it?
Yes.
Or is it always there? I thought I hadn't flexed anything yet.
I have no idea.
I hope they didn't flex that game because the Jags and the fucking Colts are playing a better game. But they never get flexed.
That's going to be a good game.
No, you can't flex it. You can't flex it this late. That decision had to be made like 4
you can flex it like a week or something before.
We're not at a week before. We're at tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they must have not flexed
it now. You can't. This
no, I know.
The only thing that would cause a flex would be like a crazy weather system coming in, and they just physically have to get the game done.
But this is in Houston, right?
No, this game's in Kansas City. But there is no crazy weather. I'm just giving you a scenario in which they could flex it because there's a lot of TV implications. Like this is an NBC game, right? So to move that is very, very difficult.
Yeah, NBC's already set up in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's got to be done in advance.
Yeah.
That's a very difficult thing to do. You've got Bears Packers in the 4:25 window.
It's a big game.
That's a really, really good game.
Either way, you're happy with whoever wins tomorrow. Well, I don't think one team or the other actually hurts you winning, because if the Packers win, you know what it means? That just means that you now have the tiebreaker over the Bears and you're close to them and you play them one more time.
Best case scenario,
you could win the division.
Is they tie. Best case scenario is they tie both games, but that will not happen.
Well, they play two more. They play twice, right?
They play twice. So at this point, no, there's not really a rooting interest. I think if I have a rooting interest, it's probably for Green Bay to just run away with it, because they already beat us twice. No, because they beat us twice. So we don't have
to play the Bears for the division week 18.
I don't think that happens,
and that's the Sunday night game.
Unless the Packers just fall apart, like free fall, like they're not losing to the Vikings. They're not losing to the Vikings. I know you're saying maybe. They're not losing to the Vikings week 18.
You lost to the Vikings? The Bears lost to the Vikings?
Yes, but you're talking about a team that's not making the playoffs. You're week 18. Everyone's packed it in. They're not playing anybody that's remotely hurt because they don't want to impact next year. The Vikings are going to – like, unless the Vikings – like, I would say if Aaron Rodgers was still in the Packers, I think that these guys would go all out to knock the Packers out. Right now, I don't think so. I would be shocked.
Packers have such a hard schedule.
They do, and the Bears isn't easy either. But like, either way, I just can't. It doesn't. I don't really see a
Love versus Lamar week 17. It's in Green Bay, but Lamar never loses to the NFC. He's like undefeated against them.
Oh, this year
he lost to the Giants.
Yeah, he lost to the Lions too.
Yeah. Well, this year his first few losses. He doesn't lose to the NFC though.
He lost to the Giants like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was like the first one. It was a huge deal.
I think, even with how the Bears have been, or not the Bears, the Lions have been, it doesn't look so bad for them, because I think how tough of a schedule both the Bears and the Packers do coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
The Lions have an easy road to the playoffs, So
they have the Rams next week, and they have the Bears.
The Rams, yes, but they have the Bears in Detroit. You played them in Chicago already.
No. We have them in Chicago.
I thought you played them in Chicago for the way.
No, we played them in Detroit. We've got in LA for the Rams, and then we play the Steelers at home, and then we go on the road to Minnesota, on the road to Chicago. So it's the Lions really need to be perfect. They don't need to win next week against if they beat the Rams next week, I think they're winning out, and at that point they might win the division.
Yeah, maybe, you win out, you have a chance to win the division.
The only thing helping the Lions here is that like the what's it called? The Packers have that tie, which may help them. But like the tie is irrelevant at this point, because if we were both at 12 wins, they would get in anyway because they have the tiebreaker over us. So honestly, the tie might help the Lions here, but I don't know. What I would say is this from my perspective: whoever wins game 1, I want to win game 2. Like, if the Bears win tomorrow, I need them to beat the Packers again that second time and just bury them, right? Because at that point, if the Bears beat them tomorrow, then I think the Broncos are going to beat them the next week, and then if the Bears pile it on, beat them again, that's 3 straight losses. Now they're 8-6. Like, then I would definitely
have the Ravens.
Huh?
Then you have the Ravens, and you got Lamar.
Then they have the Ravens, and then they have the Vikings. So yeah, then I think I would feel a lot better. But it's just whoever wins tomorrow, I hope they win the second time and kind of bury the other guy. Which would be a crazy turn of events if the Bears went from the 1 seed to like missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
I think at this point you're going to see 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs. I know it looks a bit grim, but I think
you're more likely to get 3 NFC West teams.
I think the Seahawks do kind of crumble. I think they've been so good, but I think
the Niners are more likely to do that than the Seahawks. The Niners are hurt everywhere.
They've been getting healthy. Been getting healthier.
Yeah.
Not like healthy, but healthier. I think this week is the easiest game down the stretch for them. The Seahawks, you have Atlanta, then you're Indy, Rams, Carolina, San Francisco. You could easily see them
they
going
already have 9
2 and 3.
somehow, the Niners.
They're 9. You could see them going 2 and 3 down the stretch.
So it's
11 means
11.
That would be 11 for them because they already have 9.
I mean, yeah, the game where they go to Carolina, like that is so crazy that like their season might come down to that. But I doubt that though, because they're going to beat the Falcons, so they're going to get the 10 wins. I think they'll beat the Colts. I mean, that's not guaranteed, but I think they'll beat the Colts. And keep in mind here too, Daniel Jones is playing with like a minor fracture in his leg. Like that guy gets hit the wrong way, their season's fucking over. So kind of hope if that happens, it happens after they play the Seahawks. But then they do see the Rams again. They see the Panthers. They see the Niners. I don't know. I think if you put a gun to my head today, I'd say the Seahawks are winning at least 12 games this year. I think they probably go 3-2 down the stretch, or they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think they go 3-2. Yeah. I think they beat the Falcons. I think they beat the Colts. I think they beat the Niners at the end of the season. You know, I don't, unless Sam Darnold turns back into a pumpkin again. But he's been playing really good football. He's got a crazy good group around him. Jackson Smith and Jigba might be the best receiver. I mean, he's probably the most
best receiver in football.
He's the most productive.
He's the most productive receiver football. The top 5 receiver. Probably behind Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Puka Nacua. Then I'd say it's probably JSN.
So, I don't know. I mean, hey, there was a lot of upsets last week. You know, it's not out of the realm for maybe the Falcons to win tomorrow. Like, I doubt it. They got Kirk Cousins starting.
Kirko.
Yeah.
1 o'clock Kirk.
Yeah.
You look at the NFC West teams; they have tough schedules. I mean, the Rams have the Lions, and then they have the Seahawks in Seattle. Yes, they have Arizona twice, and then Atlanta once. You should win those games, but you could end up 3-2 down the stretch. The Niners probably have the easiest stretch, so it's going to be interesting. That the NFC playoff picture is going to be tight for the teams that are expecting to make the playoffs. I mean, all these teams are expecting to make the playoffs. The Lions are 2 years removed from an NFC championship berth, and being the best team or what was thought to be the best team in football last year, and probably a favorite to win the Super Bowl. And we're a year later, we're talking about them maybe missing the playoffs. So it's these next 5 weeks, including tomorrow, are going to be fun football for a lot of NFC teams. And the AFC playoff picture, I think it could basically end tomorrow. Where you have a lot of teams basically falling out of it, where they need a lot to happen, like winning out, and then a few teams to lose a couple of games just to make the playoffs. So I think you look at it, the NFC. It's going to be a lot of fun watching these next few weeks.
Just gotta fucking be prepared. That's it. You got the most prepared coaches always wind up winning the most down the stretch.
100%.
So we'll see. The Jaguars got a pretty good coach.
Jalen is playing tomorrow, or Jaden Daniels is playing tomorrow for Washington.
They have a poser as a coach, huh? Dan Campbell. It just seems like he can do it. He can go on a run, but he can have horrible years.
When your team is injured as has been this year, I think you got to give him a pass. Jaden Daniels has been out 2 separate times for 2 separate big
we said Jaden Daniels, and then we said Dan Campbell. Are we talking about Dan Quinn?
Dan Quinn.
That's what I meant. Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. He meant Dan Quinn.
Did I say Dan Campbell? Dan Quinn's like, you can't. It doesn't matter what happened to your team, man. You can't be going. You can't be having an embarrassing season.
Wide receiver 1 and your quarterback that's supposed to be the future go down on 2 separate occasions during the season. I think you're allowed that pass once. I don't think that the Commanders team is particularly well constructed, and I think that's come to light. But I think he definitely gets a pass for this year, and he's allowed to go into free agency and into the draft and fix his team up to hopefully make a run next year.
But why would you play Jaden Daniels? Like beating the Vikings does nothing for you. You're already eliminated.
Yeah,
I'm never one to tank, but like Jaden Daniels has gotten hurt twice now this year. The best thing for him is to just sit down for the rest of the year. You'll lose out. You get a nice high draft pick. You draft yourself a legitimate left tackle, right, that you don't have to pay for 5 years. and you build around that. I mean, I like this is the shit I don't get about some of these organizations.
Shades of RG3 playing with the torn ACL in the playoffs. I mean,
but that's the playoffs. Like people talk
doesn't matter. Is a torn ACL? Like, you don't play a guy with a torn ACL.
Okay, but the playoffs are a different. Playoffs are a different conversation, right? Like careers in the NFL collectively. I mean, these guys are all playing. The average career is like 2.7 years.
Yeah.
Right. So most of these guys won't get another shot. So I think you make the most of every year. If you're in the playoffs, I'm not going to judge what you're doing in the playoffs because the goal of this game is to win the Super Bowl. And to say that you'd rather get knocked out in the wild card round than the NFC Championship because it's a better draft position, you're a fucking moron, man. Like, you want to see this team go as far as they can every year. And once you're in the playoffs, you're in. You're not getting. Let me just tell you something. If you're on the cusp of missing the playoffs, or you made it to the divisional round of the NFC Championship, you're not getting a good draft pick. Like the type of guys you see at 28 are the same type of guys that are available at 18. Like there's not
guys that are available.
There's not a world of difference in quality. We're not talking about a top 10 pick. We're talking about an 18th overall. So like, that idea is just, it's asinine. So I don't judge a coach for throwing a guy back into a playoff game that's hurt. Like, it's all or nothing here. I mean, Phil Rivers played that championship run with a torn ACL. Like, it is what it is. This is what you're paid to do. But to play Jayden Daniels right now is stupid. It's asinine. It's irresponsible. And this is probably going to lead to a mess later in his career.
And
you're going to
really happened to him? He hurt his elbow?
He hurt his elbow, but he also
dislocated it. Something like that.
Did he hurt?
He landed on it.
He hurt his knee. He hurt his
hamstring.
Though.
It was his hamstring was the first injury. He was out 2 games or 3 games, and then in his first game back, if I'm not mistaken, he went down. He was getting sacked, and he put his arm out straight, and his elbow just kind of buckled on him. I don't know if it dislocated or what, but it was pretty gruesome.
It looked insane. But,
and the fact that he's even playing football again this year is insane, and the fact that they're throwing him out there when they're essentially out of it is even more insane.
Yeah, it's asinine, it's moronic, but
it's stupid. You know, he goes and gets a career-ending injury. I mean,
yeah. And then, I mean, just
if I was Jayden Daniels, I'd probably just be like, I'm still hurt. You know what I mean? Why are you gonna end your career for a lost season? I know you want to go out there and play football, but you proved you had it last year when you won Rookie of the Year and looked incredible. You don't need to prove anything. It's not like you're fighting for your starting position as a QB because the Commanders are probably going to have a high draft pick.
I think the guy with a lot...
team, though. Like, he's the captain. If he can fucking play, he's playing. And that's respectable.
No, it is respectable. It is. It's just, I think, as a head coach, that's where you need to step in there and say, Jayden, I know you want to play, but I'm shutting you down. Because it's much more important that I have you next year.
You shut him down.
More important that I have you for the next 8 years than next.
If there's no reason to shut him down, the doctor's like, he's perfectly fine. Like,
yeah, I think if it doesn't, if what happened to him is not something he can re-aggravate, then I think you play him. Yes.
But if he's playing with a fucking brace that looks like he's RoboCop out there, I think that we have some. There's got to be some discussions had. Why is he out there? If, he needs to be.
I
hope so. I have Terry McLaurin on my fantasy team.
I think the guy with a lot more to prove tomorrow is not Jayden Daniels. It's J.J. McCarthy. He's started off his NFL career injured. So this is kind of looked at as that rookie season. There's already whispers coming out of Minnesota that they might be moving on this offseason. They might be drafting a guy, which I know you're about to bring up Sam Darnold. I get that. But just to give a quick thing on JJ here, he's 86 for 159. I don't know what that completion percentage equals, but he's at under 1,000 yards. He's 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. It hasn't looked good. Probably his best game was against the Lions, actually.
My big thing with J.J. McCarthy is you look at, like, if there's any comparison to Sam Darnold, look at what Sam Darnold did in college. Sam Darnold was a very, very, very good quarterback in college. J.J. McCarthy was sheltered in Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh did not give him the leeway to he didn't hand him the ball and said, "You go win us the game." They ran the ball for a reason. They didn't let him throw the ball as much as that much for a specific reason. That's because he's probably not the best quarterback.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold's senior year.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's senior year. 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. It's not a great year. In 14 games, he threw for 4,000 yards.
No, he didn't have a great year, but the year before he was dotting up people.
Yeah.
The year before he was 31.
His junior year was great. Yeah.
And he had the playoff game.
I think JJ was a guy that would have benefited. I say the same about Michael Penix, although Michael Penix is just old, so like that was kind of an issue.
But you're in college.
No, I think JJ would have benefited from like another 2 years in college. I don't think that was a kid that was ready. I mean, don't forget this. Like the year that Michigan team was so good, they beat Penn State without throwing the ball in the second half.
Yeah.
Like that Michigan team was incredible. And like what I'll give JJ that year, and I've said it on the show a few times, so we'll move on to something else. But like that Michigan team was so good. They didn't really ask JJ to do anything that difficult. The one thing I'll give JJ is that when his name was called, he did produce. He threw on the run really well. He was accurate. He made the right decisions, but he was to me.
They didn't call his number.
When I watched him, the comparison to me was Mark Sanchez. Like Mark Sanchez was not asked to do anything difficult for those Jets teams in 2009 and 2010. Right? Like they had the best line we've probably ever seen. They had an incredible run game. They had a veteran wide receiver group who still had it and a shutdown defense. Like all Mark Sanchez had to do was not turn the ball over. And that was kind of J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. Like he had the best of the best. And, so I think I don't think that this is a guy. If I was Minnesota, I don't think I'd be moving on from him. But I also don't think I would have started him. Maybe the right decision. Maybe I was wrong because I was the one saying to cut, to move on from Sam Darnold and start JJ. Maybe the best decision they could have made was pay Sam Darnold to stick around for 2 more years, 3 more years, and start JJ in that second year and see if you could move Sam Darnold at the deadline or something. I don't know. It's easier said than done. It's not easy to make those trades, but I think JJ, this is going to have a significant impact on his career. Yeah, but I would tell you this, if I'm an NFL team and I hear that they're moving on from JJ and I have, like, for example, if I'm the Lions and I've got Jared Goff on my roster, I don't think I'd mind taking JJ and having him be a second string and having him learn a little bit because the kid has the athleticism. He's got the arm. Like, he can make any throw you ask him to make. It's just, does he have the decision-making skills to get the ball in that spot? Mm-hmm. And that's ultimately what you're worried about. And at this point, like I hate to label somebody, but you're kind of worried if this guy's got some injury problems. I mean, he was injured his whole first year, of course, right? Yeah, he had I think a torn ACL.
Non-contact ACL.
This year, like this is like what,
concussion and hand injury, concussion and a wrist injury, something like that. So there's a few teams that should be calling the Minnesota Vikings if they decide to move on from J.J. McCarthy. The Jets being one of them. I think that they could benefit from having another name in the room. They could. Who
does J.J. learn from there? Like that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like you don't want Justin Fields.
I suppose.
Anything like that. That's the thing. Like I think if you're like I don't even know if you're like the Steelers and Rodgers is coming back another year, maybe that benefits him. If you're like, I don't know, San Francisco, maybe just a year of coaching with Shanahan. But like we could have said the same thing about Kevin O'Connell because that guy's a quarterback whisperer. Another important game here. Bills, Bengals. That's in the 1:00 window.
Casino back?
He is not back. I have the whole screen open here. Bills, Bengals. That game's going to be played in Buffalo. Bengals are mathematically alive. They are +6 tomorrow. They're +225. I think I'm going to feel pretty comfortable taking them in the money line.
This is who, the Bengals?
Yeah.
No, Buffalo.
I think the Bills will win. I think the Bills will win, but would it shock you if the Bengals walked into Buffalo and won a game 28-27?
Yes, because of the weather. But that's I don't know. It depends on what the weather is. Actually, I should say depends if it's snowing there. I think the Bills would go and wash them. If it's not, I could see the Bengals winning, but I think this is definitely a must win for the Bengals. I think if they lose, they have like less than a 1% chance of winning, making the playoffs.
Overcast, 32 degrees, 0% precipitation. So cold game.
Cold game. And then the Bengals deal with that in Cincinnati. I think this is a must win for the Bengals, like I said, but I think the Bills need to win this game. The Bills need to win this game because I think if the Bills have the highest percent chance to make the playoffs of any team that's not leading a division. Actually, they even have a higher percent chance than the Ravens, who are in the lead of the AFC North at this moment. So they need to they if they win tomorrow, they're basically in. I think they free themselves of a few teams being right up their ass and probably create some separation. But yeah, so this is gonna be a fun game. It's probably gonna be the best game during the day tomorrow, I would say.
What's crazy about tomorrow is that because the Pats are at 11, if no matter what happens tomorrow, Bills win or lose, if the Pats beat them next week, because the Pats have a bye, if the Pats beat them, they lock up their division. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now here's what I will say about the Pats. I think the Pats are a really good team. I think just resume, just resume and record here.
Yeah.
I think they're a top 3 team in the NFL. I really do. All that being said, I think they'll beat the Bills next week. However, when it comes to the playoffs, if the Bills have to go up to New England, I see them winning that game. And
agreed.
I think I'm just saying that based off history, based off what we've seen Josh Allen and McDermott do. And don't forget, McDermott's coaching for and this is a crazy thing to think about. Just in retrospect, without getting deep into the Bills, because I'm not a Bills fan. This is, McDermott's a guy who's taken this team to an AFC championship. He's in the playoffs
3 times, right?
every year. I don't know how many times, but I know he's done it.
Yeah.
They're in the playoffs every year. They usually win a playoff game every year. They are 8-4, legitimately 8-4. And there is serious discussion around Buffalo. Now, I don't know if it's happened within the front office, but it's happened among, Twitter and there's been plenty of articles on it that this may be it for McDermott. If they don't go on a playoff run, he's done, which is crazy to think about.
I think there's one person that the Bills would and maybe should fire McDermott for. That's definitely out there and probably wants to coach again. And I don't know how you feel about this, but I think it would be Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy definitely has a better resume than Sean McDermott, without a question. I think he's probably a better coach. And I think getting an offensive-minded person in the room that can help build an offense around Josh Allen, because let's face it, you can be whoever you want. Like Tom Brady, everyone says, oh, Tom Brady had really nothing around him. He made these guys who they are. You have Edelman, who's won a world Super Bowl MVP. He had Rob Gronkowski. He had Aaron Hernandez before he became, before everything came to light. He had Wes Welker, who was like a third receiver for him, a third option. Danny Amendola. Wes Welker was a great receiver. He was a very good receiver. So he had weapons there. They might not have been the premier weapons, but he had weapons. Josh Allen does not have that. His 2 receivers, Keon Coleman or I don't
Who's
even know.
Probably on his way out of Buffalo, too.
He's probably on his way out of Buffalo. His number one's Khalil Shakir. His best weapons outside of James Cook are 2 tight ends.
I get what you said about Tom Brady, and I'm not going to dispute that.
Yeah.
What has Mike McCarthy and I can't say remove the Super Bowl because that happened, right? And he was a big reason as to why it happened. Outside of the Super Bowl, what makes Mike McCarthy right now today a better head coach than Sean McDermott?
Maybe just a change of pace. I honestly think that
that's not an answer I'd accept.
I get it, but that's the only thing I can really come up with. And I think maybe just he did some good things in Dallas. I mean, it didn't look terrible there, and I think he maybe got railroaded a bit. I think a lot of that was Jerry Jones butting heads with him. And I think they just need a new person in the room. And I don't think you're not firing McDermott for a fresh coach. That would be the worst decision you can make. You're firing for someone that's established And I don't know anyone that's out there other than Mike McCarthy that is definitely going to be getting a job next year.
There is one guy I think I'm firing McDermott for, and once again I don't think he gets an NFL job because of his lawsuit. It's John Gruden.
Oh yeah,
that's the only guy.
That's why.
Other than that, like Mike McCarthy has never really impressed me. Mike McCarthy has taken some very good teams and lost early in the playoffs with them.
Agreed.
Like this is a guy that took advantage of for a while a bad NFC North, right? Like the way that we talk about the AFC East. The NFC North was not really that competitive when he was there. You had a Hall of Famer at quarterback, and you won one Super Bowl with him. And I think if they had gone to multiple NFC championship, which I believe they did, I think they may have went to I know they went to one more with
They
him.
went to 2 championships, if I'm not mistaken, aside from the Super Bowl.
I know of one. I don't know of the second. Just
Did they
the fact
lose
that,
to the Giants in one championship game with
I
Coughlin
think
in
it
08?
was. Yeah,
in 07?
so.
Oh no,
No,
was McCarthy
no.
the coach?
McCarthy wasn't the coach yet. I believe it was Holmgren.
So no, 2011 was against the Niners, but
2011, but 2011 you guys knocked them off in the divisional or
the week before,
the divisional round,
yeah,
because they had a bye. So I just think with all of the talent that Mike McCarthy's had, and let's go back to the Dallas years, right? Because that's more recent. He had a lot of talent on those teams, and they just continuously fell apart earlier and earlier each year. I mean, they were always a first round. They were always a first round exit. I mean, he didn't even find a way to win a playoff game with them.
Yeah.
So I don't, and I've heard from more than one Giants fan that that's the guy that they want next year.
Absolutely not.
I don't see that.
The Giants need fresh blood, or they need someone who's going to make Jackson Dart better. And I don't think Mike McCarthy's that. Mike McCarthy's kind of a lateral move who I think is slightly better than McDermott, in my honest opinion. There's actually 2 other names that I think should be brought up in that discussion. We shouldn't.
You're talking Giants or Bills?
Bills. I think Mike Tomlin, if he does decide to part ways with Pittsburgh, that is a definite upgrade. And John Harbaugh, there have been reports circling most of the season that there might be a separation coming.
With John Harbaugh, I just it hasn't been as long as Mike Tomlin, so I don't know. Although it's probably not that far off, right? Maybe John Harbaugh was hired a year or 2 later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how much I believe that that Harbaugh's gone. However, Tomlin, there is some contract things there, so they need to make a decision by March 1st of next year what they're going to do, and you're not going to wait till March 1st to fire a head coach. I think in the end, I think if the Steelers miss the playoffs, I think he's gone. And I think that's what's going to end up happening. Mike Tomlin's an interesting guy because he's
a better coach than Sean McDermott.
He's a great coach, but also that team, they're another team that's got a world of talent, and they haven't won a playoff game in I don't know how long. I mean, since 2016, this guy hasn't made it past the wild card round. I think he's got one playoff.
But they haven't had the quarterback. They've missed on every single quarterback.
I guess, but I mean,
and that's not him making the decisions, right?
Yeah, but you've seen Nick Foles win playoff games, right? You watched him win a Super Bowl. It's not all about the quarterback. He's had a good defense. He's had a good run game. He's had elite wide receivers there. So, I mean, at some point, whether it's fair or not, this is a production-based business, and with all that's invested into the Steelers, you got to start winning. Now, what I will say is I don't know how much power he's got in when they're drafted. I don't know how much, I don't know the structure. I know they're a pretty old school organization. So I think it would be best for both sides to just go their separate ways, because I think Mike Tomlin can go win somewhere else. And I think at this point it's beneficial for Pittsburgh to go in a different direction. And I think if you're Pittsburgh, that's a team that should be looking around for a special teams coach that's never been a head coach before, or an assistant to someone. That, you know, like to me, that's a direction I would go. And if it takes a couple of years to kind of get this going, that's okay, because, you know, the Steelers are not in the business of hiring and firing head coaches, like for better or for worse. And like, I also don't think that that's something to be proud of. Like, you always hear people like Steelers fans will say that, like, yeah, we don't fire our head coach. Okay, yeah, you guys also don't win anything. Like,
you had one Super Bowl win in the past.
You've got two. You've got two wins.
Two
in the past 30 years. I mean, I know they won one with Carroll, one with Tomlin. So the past 20, 25 years, you've got two, which is fuck, man. I'll take two every 25 years.
Take one.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take one in my lifetime. So like, I'm not gonna, you know. But I think from where the Steelers are, I don't think that you should always be measured on like Super Bowl wins, but you got to have some success in the playoffs, and they just haven't. And I think it's going to start tomorrow. I think the Ravens are going to win tomorrow. I think the Ravens are going to win this division. But I'd like to see the Bengals make it interesting. I'd like to see the Bengals beat the Bills tomorrow. I think that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see. Imagine we see the Chiefs and the Bills miss the playoffs.
I don't think you'll see the Bills. The Bills are at 8 wins.
If they lose, they're 8-5, and right 8-5 they lose tomorrow.
Yeah, 8-5, but then
you have the Texans behind them. They have the Steelers behind them. It gets dicey. You win tomorrow, you free yourself of some of that restraint.
Right, but I think if you're in the AFC, I think 10 wins gets you in. They play the Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. I think they'll definitely beat the Jets week 18. I think they'll beat the Browns week 16. And somewhere between Bengals, Patriots, Eagles, they'll get one win. And I think at this point it might be the Eagles.
I think it might be the Eagles, and I think they beat the Patriots. I think they can end the season 5-0 and win the AFC East. To be honest, I think that is within the realm of possibilities because I think the Bills are that good. I think Josh Allen's that good.
I don't think that they'll win the East because if you look at the Patriots are already at 11 wins. The Patriots need to get to, if they lose to the Bills, they need to get to 13 wins. They have Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins. You know,
Ravens aren't easy.
I think Jets and Dolphins are an easy win.
I think the Dolphins are weird. They've had some
massive
weeks. They've had some massive weeks, and they have Jalen Waddle, they have Devon Achane, they have some weapons on that offense. I mean, I think that could be a week. You know, Drake May doesn't 100% have it, and you know the Dolphins could. You blink and the Dolphins are up 27-3. You know what I mean? That offense is damn good.
I don't think that happens against the Patriots. I think the Patriots are just too stable.
No,
I think the Patriots. Yeah, I mean, maybe they lose that game. Which at that point, they're not losing to the Jets exactly. So, the Patriots they have a much larger margin for error. You know, the only thing that doesn't help the Patriots, which I guess helps them that they're coming off a bye, they're rested, but they've got less games to win. You know, essentially, but they're at 11 wins. You know, so I think if even if the Pats don't win the division, which I think they will, like once again, just get to 12 wins. Like the Pats need to win one more game for a playoff berth.
I think they're in the playoffs at this point. I don't think I know. I don't think they're mathematically.
I think they could lose out and still make the playoffs.
I think if they do lose out, they'll still make the playoffs. I don't think there's a question. I think if they somehow lost out and then you just added another loss, I think they'd still make the playoffs. That's where they're at this point. But if I'm the Patriots, if I'm Mike Vrabel, if I'm the Patriots, you want to win that division. You don't want to let if you let the Bills come up and steal that division for you down the stretch. Things get. I mean, if the playoffs have to run through Buffalo, I don't think I think you're going to see a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl. You're going to see the Bills in the Super Bowl. I think Josh Allen is probably.
It's not going to run through Buffalo. Denver's got too many wins.
Oh, that's right.
If the Pats are not the 1 seed, it's going to be Denver.
It's going to be Denver.
Now, there's no guarantee that Denver gets to an AFC championship here, but you know the AFC is just so weak that you know who do you see going into Denver and beating them? Right, like Baltimore could.
The Chargers, I could see
the Chargers are a wild card. I don't think so. The Colts are not good enough. Like I could see the Bills going into Denver.
100%. I could see the Jaguars even doing it.
At the rate that the Patriots are playing, right? Like if the Patriots don't turn the ball over, which they really haven't, like the Patriots can go into Denver and win too. Like it's the AFC is, I mean, both conferences are wide open. It's going to be very interesting to see the AFC. Very interesting. I mean, it's like legitimately, if you are a fan of anyone from the Texans to Bills, Colts, Chargers, and all the division leaders, like any one of those teams can go to the Super Bowl. Any one of those teams. Like there is no team. Like you could look at the NFC, right? And you could say like, the Niners probably aren't going to the Super Bowl, right? Maybe you think the Bears. Like there are a lot of like I think the Eagles probably aren't going to the Super Bowl. They've shown too many problems. The Buccaneers, the Panthers, they won't go to the Super Bowl, right? Like there's really no team that you look at from the AFC and say they don't have a chance. Like every team's got a chance, but like they really don't have a chance. Like I think the only team I wouldn't feel good about is the Chargers, and that's just because they always shit down their leg late in the season.
They do, yeah.
So
they do.
Like other than that, the AFC is so wide open.
It's remember when we were talking about like 4 years ago how the AFC is the best division in football? You got Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, and it's like you could see realistically, you're definitely going to see two of them miss the playoffs. I don't think the Chiefs or the Bengals make the playoffs. You could see three of them miss the playoffs. There's a world where all four of them miss the playoffs. You're definitely going to see two, in my opinion. I think you could see three.
Who's the fourth?
The fourth, you could see the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bengals could all miss the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
If the Steelers end up taking the North and then the Texans come in and steal that last wild card spot from the Bills, all four of them missed it.
The Steelers' road ahead is so difficult.
It is, but it's mathematically possible.
It's mathematically possible, but they've got the Ravens tomorrow, who I think they'll lose to. They've got the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins will beat them. They've got the Lions. I think the Lions will beat them. And then they've got Browns and Ravens again.
They could honestly lose out. They very well could lose out.
Yeah. I don't see the Steelers losing out. I think they'll beat the Browns. And then week 18 just might not matter against the Ravens. Like it might, but that's going to depend on the Green Bay game. So it's going to be wild how this shakes out. You have anything on the 4:00 games?
The 4:00 games. What
Packers,
the Packers?
Rams Cardinals is interesting because the Rams. It's not that interesting. The Rams did play a playoff game in Arizona last year. The Rams just lost to the Panthers, which was fucking wild. Like we all kind of said it tongue in cheek on the show last week, but like, did we mean it? I guess so. Like there was a legitimate chance, but then it fucking happened. Is there any world where the Cardinals pull off the upset here?
They're not good enough. They're down Marvin Harrison. You have Jacoby Brissett and Trey McBride, and their defense isn't good enough. I think the Rams go and absolutely pummel them. I think you could see and the Rams defense is legit. You could see them put up fucking 30-40 tomorrow, and the Cardinals maybe not get out of single digits. That's how ugly this game will be. The Cardinals are bad. Cardinals are real bad. And I think Stafford, who may have succeeded giving up the top spot of this MVP to Drake May, to be honest, after this last week.
Might have.
Drake
May, there's a lot of football to be played left.
A lot of football. I think Stafford will benefit from having an extra game. So I think when it comes down to it, I think Drake May's probably going to be sitting the last week. He might not even play a full week 17.
Well, it depends. I think if they have, he is the quarterback, but I think if they have the bye, it may be advantageous of them to play Drake May that last week because now you've got him sitting for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you might have him. You might. Oh, that's true. That's true.
But you also, he goes down with an injury. It's like, well, this is really.
It's done. Yeah, you maybe see him play a half of football in the last 2 weeks, and it probably hurts your MVP chances rather. So, but we're not an MVP talking show. We talk the games, and the only other game at 4:00 is the Broncos and the Raiders.
We talk the games
we talk about the games.
Like ESL student that you are. We talk the games.
We talk the games. What do you think about Broncos Raiders? You think the Broncos shit the bed in Las Vegas?
No.
Think they're partying right now?
Not at all.
You don't think they're out partying?
I don't think so. Sean Payton literally confiscated everyone's passport when they went to London this year.
Are you serious?
Dead serious, because Jeremy Shockey, when Sean was at the Saints, took the guys out clubbing one night, and
they lost the next day.
I don't know if they lost, but Sean Payton was like, "That's the end of that. Nobody goes out when we're in London." So
that's so funny.
Typical Jeremy Shockey fashion. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the Raiders are in shambles. They're fucking. You talk about disasters. I would not be surprised. I mean, the only thing that would make me say that it wouldn't happen would be like a money thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Carroll gets fired at the end of this year.
They need a new owner. I mean,
it's just never going to happen. They print money there. They're so wealthy at this point from that move to Las Vegas. I mean, I literally bailed. What's his face? Mark Davis was not in a great money situation.
No, he was not. They had to move to Vegas.
Yeah. So, but no, I think tomorrow you could feel good about taking the Broncos spread here. I think I would take it a step further. I don't know that I'd fuck with the over under just because that over under is at 40.5. I think what I would do and what I will do is I think I would buy down. I think I would buy up that over under like 45.5, and then I would take the under on that.
Yeah.
So like a tease. And I think I would take this Broncos spread that's at 7.5 and
buy it down to like
nope. Other
buy
direction.
It up.
I'll buy up and see what odds they give me at like Broncos minus 13.5. And take them at 2 touchdowns. Yeah, because I think if you see them winning by 8, then it's very plausible they win by 14. Like I don't like to live in the 7.5 world. If I see 7.5, I'm either buying it down to 6.5 or I'm going up to like at a minimum 9.5 and taking 10 points here because I'm going to take even money. I'm going to take even money at 7.5. Like, how often do you see a team win by 8? You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
I got to plug in my computer. Give me a sec.
No, I agree with you there. I think it could be interesting. That might be the way to take it, Matt. And of the slate tomorrow. Oh, all right. Of the slate tomorrow, there's not too much fun to be had. There's not a lot of fun to be had betting. I mean, I think there's a lot of ugly games like Saints Buccaneers. You probably don't want to touch. Dolphins Jets. You definitely don't want to touch. Titans Browns. You're not touching. Commanders Vikings. You're probably not touching. But the one game that I do find pretty interesting, and both the spread and over under are bizarre to me. The Falcons and the Seahawks. That over under is 44.5, and I mean the Seahawks over the last couple of weeks they've let up some points. It's outside of the game against the Vikings. They let up 24 to the Titans in week 12. They let up they let up 21 to the Rams in week 11. And I'm pretty sure week 10 was another big week where they allowed a ton of points. So yeah, they led 22 to the Cardinals. The Cardinals and the Seahawks in the Falcons game. I think 44.5 is a very, very light under. I think that's a great bet. And they're only favored 6.5. I think they're going to definitely beat the Falcons by a touchdown. I could see them easily beating the Falcons by a touchdown because that defense is not good. They are okay.
Yeah, that's probably a game. That's probably a game I'll take 13.5 on too.
You really would?
That bad. Yeah, dude. I think the Falcons are terrible.
I think the over is definitely the play in that game, though. 44.5. I think the Seahawks defense just isn't that good where they're going to – I think the Falcons with Kirko are going to put up – they're going to put up 2 touchdowns, maybe a field goal or 2. I could see them hitting 20, and I think the Seahawks definitely put up 3-4 touchdowns pretty handedly.
Mm-hmm.
So I could easily see the Seahawks are
the Jets beat them last week? I didn't even realize that.
Who, the Falcons?
I forgot about that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the Jets beat them. Did not look good.
2 straight Sundays I've had no football to root for. I've been watching, but I've had nothing to root for. I had Thanksgiving, and then I had
Thursday night this week.
Then I had Thursdays
in a row. I mean, at least you're happy this week.
Yeah. I mean, they're alive. So.
And you had nothing. You had nothing to root for on Sunday. I mean, at least this Sunday you got Bears Packers. Last week it was you played the Packers on Thursday, and then the Bears played Friday.
Right.
And probably the worst thing could happen.
The worst thing that could have happened. Right. Because it was like, I'm going into Thanksgiving thinking like, all right, we could beat the Packers and then the Bears lose. And then literally we can go from, out of the playoff picture to leading the division in a matter of 2 days. Because we already have the tiebreaker over the fucking idiots in Chicago. We would have been 8-4. Right now, we're looking at being the 2 seed, the one, like at that point, the 2 seed. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good on Wednesday, and Thursday it killed me. And then literally I'm going into Friday going, all right, well, at least the Eagles are going to beat the Bears today. Nope. So, yeah, that was a terrible football week. I mean, still not the best week either. Brian Branch going down with an Achilles injury. That's
Is it a torn Achilles?
Yeah. He's got to get surgery. Sucks.
Yeah, it definitely.
And we haven't had Kirby Joseph. I don't know when we're getting Kirby Joseph back. I mean, if you're going into a game against Matt Stafford, you feel a lot better with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph running around in the defensive backfield. So to go into, but like maybe that's what it is, right? Maybe that's what that's what's like going through my head is maybe that's what it takes, right? Because there's not a lot of film on Avonte Maddox and what's his name, Thomas Harper. So maybe those guys are just right place, right time. Yeah, maybe that's what they could do. I don't know. Lions are going to have to put up a ton of points to beat the Rams in LA.
And they can.
They can. I think if the offensive line looks good, if the offensive line gives Jared Goff the time that he had Thursday night, I think they'll win. But
I was surprised Amon-Ra played. I mean, I
wasn't surprised. Yeah, I knew he was playing.
That was late in the day. I mean, I was in the league. I had him in fantasy. I sat him, but I'm not in the playoffs. I already missed the playoffs, so I see him play. I was like, "Fuck, he's playing."
Yeah. He didn't have a crazy day. I think he had
6 catches for 98 yards.
Yeah. What was his yardage? St. Brown, 92 yards. Yeah, 6 catches, 92 yards.
Yeah, so he had a good day. I mean,
yeah. Tesla caught a touchdown. That was big.
He has 8 catches in the NFL, and half of them are touchdowns. And all of his touchdowns are insane catches. I mean, he doesn't catch the ball like a normal person.
Yeah. He's been something to watch. So we'll see. Hopefully he's integrated more in the pass game. And he's talented. And Tom Kennedy, shout out to Tom, Long Island kid out of Farmingdale. Tom Kennedy's been returning kicks and punts for the Lions. So he's looked really good doing that.
J-Mo's looked good at the plate.
J-Mo's looked good.
I mean, you just needed to scheme some plays up to him. I mean, he doesn't need to be out there getting 12 targets a game, but you give him 6 to 8 targets a game. One of them, he should be, 5 yards clear of the defender with his speed. And if you just get the ball in his hands and with a little bit of space, he could turn a 4-yard catch into an 80-yard touchdown. So Dan Campbell taking over the play calling was the right thing. And, they need to hope they can sneak into the playoffs or hopefully more than sneak in the playoffs, but at least get in and make something happen. And if not, there needs to be some changes in the coaching, on the play calling, and just need to bolster that line and that defensive backfield because everything else is kind of there.
You got anything else for tomorrow here?
No, just happy I don't have to watch my Giants lose.
Are they in a bye? They're
on a bye. Them and the Patriots on a bye. Last bye of the season.
Nice. All right.
Very happy because it did not look good, especially after Monday night. Monday night was disgusting. But
that was a disaster.
But you're that much closer to having a top 2 pick, 2-3 pick, and if you could somehow get the 1 pick, you could trade that for an absolute haul. And I mean, you are as big a candidate to do what the Patriots did this past year as any other team. I mean, you get the right coach in place, and you could turn what has been a dumpster fire the past 13, 14 years into hopefully
it could become a very attractive job.
It probably already is with Jackson Dart there and some of the places. I mean, I guess the only worry would be Abdul Carter and his latenesses, but that could just be that that looks to be hopefully a product of Dable not doing any type of disciplining, not disciplining whatsoever. And you know what? I don't want Kafka to be our coach, but I hope he lands on his feet somewhere else because he's done a good job of coming in and taking over and being the adult in the room. You know, he's punished Abdul Carter, what you need to do, and I think he's done a respectable job, and I think it's clear why he's gotten interviews in the past. So
right.
We'll see.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you all next weekend, and until then, let's go Lions.
Let's go Lions. Let's go Giants.